Hey guys, I'm coming back at you again. It's 12:30. It's 12:32. It's Wednesday, and for all of you who are tuning in, I appreciate it. And if you don't mind, can you share this? I think I'm going to go over some important information. I'm trying to get better at this as I go through. You know what? It's Wednesday. We're right in the middle of this craziness. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on some positive things today. I'm going to focus on something that needs to be talked about, because right now we're talking about health, so that's a blessing. In America right now, we're talking about health more than we've ever talked about it. Unfortunately, it's taken a turn of events, and we're talking about it. In my opinion, we're not talking about we're not having the right conversation. So I'm taking it upon myself. I'm stepping outside. My job as doctor means teacher, like I've said before, and so I have an obligation to give some positive information out there, some peer-reviewed, research-based information. That's what I'm going to be talking about. Not my opinion, no BS. I ain't selling you nothing. This is just me going out there, and I'm fired up about this stuff, to be honest with you, because we're having this conversation about health, but right now we're not talking about the things that, in my opinion, is going to help our country become stronger, because this is an amazing opportunity to be talking about health and what we can do to make our country stronger by making our bodies stronger. So we're going to start off right now with 7 tips to improve your immune system. 7 ways to keep your immune system healthy. Okay? This is something that's I'm passionate about and we've been talking about, and I think we're going to dive into each one of these in a quick, efficient manner. My way of understanding the immune system right now, and we're talking a lot about the immune system, is it's kind of like an orchestra when you think about it. I was trying to, talk to not talk to myself, but I was trying to brainstorm how can I communicate artfully and articulate in an articulate way, because I'm not a trained person behind the camera. But how can I articulate this in a way that I'm going to get people to understand how amazing your immune system is? And I think of it like an orchestra. If you're listening to Mozart or Beethoven, if you're meditating those things and you key in on those notes, everything has to be in sync just perfectly and beautifully for it to work properly, right? If one thing's out, if you've ever listened to a 7th grade orchestra and compared it to a high school and compared that to a college and compared that to a professional, man, there's a big difference, right? And so everything has to kind of go in unison, and everyone has to play their part. The same thing is in your body. All our cells and our tissues and our organs, and they need to be communicating properly through our nervous system in a beautiful way. And God's an amazing, okay? Plain and simple, we have this amazing divine body that it's our job to take responsibility for and empower ourselves about it. And our body can fight just about anything if given an opportunity. But we have to have positive lifestyle habits to help our nervous system and our immune system function normally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge you. This is not, I'm just sick of people I understand this is a scary time. I get it. But let's focus on, because this is a perfect opportunity to take some time and focus on how we can get healthy. This is a perfect time to focus on how we can improve our body. So we're going to get right at it. Number 1 is eat healthy. Well, what the heck? Eat healthy diet. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know, right? Well, I'm not going to sit here and give you any of my BS, okay? Not that I try to anyways, but what we're going to do is give you some peer-reviewed research information in a nice way. And for example, in eating healthy, obviously plant-based foods, fruits, vegetables, herbs, and spices are essential to a healthy immune system. That's not according to me, that's according to Dr. Lynn of the Cleveland Clinic. He's an integrated medical doctor, an amazing person. And so the reason why that's so important, and specifically, and this is back in 2017 he made this article, many plant-based foods have an antiviral and antimicrobial properties, which help us fight off all kinds of infections. Well, guess what? It's really important right now. The research shows that things like cloves, oregano, thyme, cinnamon, and cumin have very high antiviral and antimicrobial properties. and they prevent the growth of things like food spoiling and things that were important to us back in the day when we didn't have refrigeration. So we used to eat a lot of this stuff. The problem is we don't eat a lot of this stuff anymore, or we get it in a form that all the nutrients have been dried out, and it's really you're not getting any of the benefits. But according to the International Journal of Molecular Sciences, they find that this has a very high, it can fight off antiviral and antimicrobial infections. Also, zinc, folate, iron, selenium, copper, vitamins A, C, E, B6, B12. I'm going fast, but I'm going to go over it more as I go. The more of those nutrients you get in your immune system, it needs all those things in a proper amount for it to do its job properly. And that's according to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And their research shows, the reason I'm saying this is because I know you're hearing some stuff, some videos have gone viral. You heard some stuff about vitamin C and maybe some zinc. So here's the thing. Vitamin C, fabulous. Vitamin C deficiency can actually, according to research, can increase the likelihood of infection. It can, according to a review published back in 2017. So this is not new, okay? Because our bodies don't produce enough of the essential water-soluble vitamins on their own, so we need to supplement it with things like citrus fruits, cruciferous vegetables, okay? For example, you can get up to 95 milligrams or 106% of your daily vitamin C just by snacking on a half a cup of red pepper. Did you know that? You don't need to go out there and buy it. I don't need to sell you a bunch of vitamin C tablets. Because quite honestly, I want you all to do to challenge you. Look at the vitamin C that you bought from, say, Walmart or CVS or even a more reputable place. More times than not, what you're going to find is synthetic, and the first ingredient is going to say ascorbic acid, and the FDA has classified that as vitamin C, which it's not. It's not like getting vitamin C from your red pepper. It's not. It's like saying white rice is the same as brown rice. It's not. Brown rice has the bran, has the germ, has all the wonderful nutrients around the starchy part, which is that white part, which is the rice. And the white part, the little white part, it's like that's ascorbic acid. You've taken away all the bran, all the other good stuff that's really good for your immune system. You say, well, here's the starch, and call that vitamin C. Not true. So my point is, plant-based vegetables. You got to fill your body with plant-based vegetables and fruits, and you can't just go buy a bunch of zinc and vitamin C and call that an excuse to not have to worry about filling your diet worth of vegetables and fruits, because it ain't going to happen that way. You can go ahead and do it. I'm all for it, supplementation, but first we start with our food. So protein. Proteins are very important, critical for your immune health. Okay, amino acids and protein help build up and maintain your immune cells, and skimping on that macronutrient, they say, will lower your body's ability to fight infections. And that's in a peer-reviewed study in February 2013. Specifically, I thought this was really interesting. I hope you do too. Mice who ate a diet consisting of only 2% protein, mice who ate a diet consisting of only 2% protein were more severely impacted by the flu than mice who ate a normal protein diet with 18% protein. But here's the thing, once researchers start feeding the first group of a normal amount of protein diet, the mice were able to get rid of the virus. So even if you're eating really healthy, even if you're eating really bad, you've had a history of eating poorly, and maybe this has scared the crap out of you, what's going on. This is a perfect time, because if you just start eating normally, guess what? Your immune system is going to kick back in gear, and I guarantee you're going to get healthy. It's never too late, okay? They say when a diet that supports good, when it comes to a diet that supports good immune health, focus on and incorporate more plants and more plant-based foods. Add fruits and vegetables to things like stews. I love making smoothies, salads, eat them as snack, this Dr. Lynn says. Here's something really cool. Carrots, broccoli, spinach, red bell peppers, apricots, citrus fruits, and things such as seeds and nuts will provide protein, vitamin E, zinc, and that's according to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. So again, if we're eating a healthy plant-based diet, you don't really need to go out and buy anything. You don't really need to listen to any of these, what these supposed experts are telling you to, and what they're trying to sell you on. I'm not necessarily opposed to doing that in addition to, but I'm just saying let's get our diet right. Okay, so stress. I've talked about this before. Number 2, keep stress under control. Super important. Well, why is that important? Well, we're all stressed out right now. But the thing is, long-term stress leads to chronically elevated levels of the steroid called cortisol. And that's according to the National, it's a published article in the Current Opinion of Psychology. So it relied, this cortisol is really important because when you're in these short-term bouts of stress, like a fight or flight, it's critical. What it does is it shuts down your immune system. You might say, well, that's not good. No, it's really good. Because when you're running from that tiger, you're fighting for your life, the last thing you want your body worrying about is your digestion or worrying about, having you rest. It's like pulling all its resources to living, to surviving, which is fabulous. The problem is long-term stress of that, it's going to keep pushing out cortisol in your body, and it's literally, guys, shutting off your immune system. I personally went through this myself here recently. Just real quick story, basically, like you all, this is stressful. I have a small business. I love my patients, and it kills me that I get it, that, people are afraid to come in maybe, or, have to stay up on all these guidelines, and we're doing it. We're going above and beyond. Of course, I want to keep my family safe, So we have all these piling up, and quite honestly, I wasn't doing a very good job of getting my sleep. And I was doing all this research, and I was trying to keep up with the business and taking care of my patients. And I didn't get enough sleep, and I got sick. And it kicked my butt a little bit. I always say, if you don't give yourself a break, God will give you one, and He gave me one. So for a day or two, I didn't feel right. I shut the office down for a week just to be careful. Got tested. I was negative, no problem. But basically, it was just, if I'm looking at myself in a mirror, I wasn't getting enough sleep, and I let stress get the best of me. And it did exactly what it's supposed to do. It shut me down, and I needed that. So guys, make sure you're listening to your body. It's really, really important. I love the Calm app. I think it's fantastic. Things like journaling, any activity that you enjoy, like fishing, golf, getting outside, some kind of stress-reducing activity is fantastic. And you don't need, if you're short on time, 5 minutes is enough. Again, a little personal. The other day, I had to put a plug in for this. It's called Sea Serpent Tours. You can get them online. Google it, Sea Serpent Tours. And we took, me and my family went out on a pontoon boat for half a day. We took off out at Trout Creek. And so it's my little gym, so I just told everybody. But it was amazing. It was great. It was absolutely gorgeous. And we got outside, we fished, and we just hung out. One of the best things we've done in a long time. It felt great. I'd recommend it so much. And not to mention, you're getting all that vitamin D, and you're converting all that vitamin D supplementation to Cofferol. You're making it work in your body. You're boosting your immunity. So highly recommend it. So number 3, get plenty of good quality sleep. Keep stress under control. Get plenty of good sleep. Kind of went over that. But more specifically, sleep is the time when your body produces and distributes key immune cells like cytokines. So that's what fights and promotes inflammation, specifically T cells, which is a white blood cell. And that regulates your immune response. Interleukin 12 is a pro-inflammatory cytokine, and that's according to a published, reviewed study. And when you don't get enough sleep, you don't get enough of those T cells producing, and then you get sick. Really important, like I found out. They found out that compared with healthy adults who did not have sleep problems, basically people, otherwise healthy young adults with insomnia were more susceptible to the flu, even after getting vaccinated, this research study. So what they found was people who had insomnia, they compared that group to people who were sleeping well, and they found that and this is a 2016 study, so it's old, but they found that those people tended to get more sick, basically. They got the flu more often than the people who actually got good sleep. And that was even if they were vaccinated people. And so this is more important than waiting around for a vaccination. This is stuff we can do right now. Waiting around being fearful and not doing anything, waiting for that vaccination, not a good idea. We have the answers right in front of our faces. The National Sleep Foundation recommends adults get at least 7 hours per night to optimize health. I think that can be anywhere from 5 to 7 hours personally. I've seen some research and everyone's different. But stuff. Number 4, exercise regularly. Huge, especially outdoors when possible. It lowers your risk of developing chronic diseases like obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. And look what's happening right now. Look at who's getting sick right now, right? It's the people with chronic degenerative processes, hypertension, obesity, type 2 diabetes, different immunocompromised individuals, heart disease. These are all things that we have control over, to be honest with you. These are lifestyle diseases. So according to this review in Frontiers of Immunology, exercise releases the endorphins. It's a group of hormones that reduces pain and creates a feeling of pleasure. And it's a great way to also manage stress, because stress negatively impacts our immune system. So also, there is a wealth of epidemiological evidence that shows people who are more active overall tend to have lower incidence of both acute illnesses and chronic ones like cancer and type 2 diabetes. And what they did is they looked at how exercise affects the body on a cellular level, and they suggested that physical activity may make your immune system more vigilant by distributing the immune cells throughout your body to look for damaged and affected cells. That's according to a 2018 report. And just a fact, we run into over 30,000 cancer cells every single day, but we don't all get cancer. We run into staphylococcus every single day. We run into people with different viruses every single day, but we don't always get cancer, or we don't always get sick. Preparing our bodies so that we can, instead of being afraid of we need to be concerned, but we can focus on our own body's ability to fend and fight off by just being healthy. It's a much more empowering thing. So they recommend. The CDC recommends, we're all listening to the CDC. Let's talk about the CDC. They're not, because unfortunately all they're doing is talking about other stuff. At minimum, try to get physical activity guidelines outlined by the Center for Disease Control. A minimum of adults should be getting at least 150 minutes or 2.5 hours of moderate intensity aerobic exercise every week, like jogging like walking, things like that. Or you can have 75 minutes or an hour, 15 minutes of more higher intensity aerobic exercise, like running every week. Or also, though, they recommend some kind of strength training, which I highly recommend. I have a whole other set of recommendations for that, but this is just the basic guidelines. Basically, they found out more activity was linked to even more health benefits. So aim high. Okay, we're all very sedentary as lifestyles. I know it. But what they found is that this Dr. Kaplan, through the Institutes of Health, found that exercising outside, spending time in nature, has been shown to support mood, lower blood pressure, and reduce inflammation and support immune system. And that's according to another research study. And they actually found that it was actually just as beneficial, and in a lot of ways, as medication. So really important. Not to mention sunshine boosts your vitamin D, which is wonderful. Number 5, alcohol. Man, we got to do that in moderation. What is moderation? Well, according to a review published in the Journal of Alcohol Research in 2015, high levels of alcohol consumption can weaken your body's ability to fight infection and slow down your recovery time. So, as a result, people who drank too much alcohol face a greater likelihood of pneumonia, acute respiratory distress syndrome, and of course, liver disease. You hear that? Pneumonia, acute respiratory, high levels of alcohol. What's everybody getting? What's this virus right now? It's attacking our lungs. So the conversation needs to be about these things. Let's lower down our alcohol intake. A little bit's okay. According to these guidelines, they say 1 glass a day for women. What is 1 glass? It's a 4-ounce pour of wine. And 2 glasses for men. I think those are pretty general. That's a total of 8 ounces for men, guys. Not a double shot of bourbon or your nice tequila or whatever. Having that every so often, moderation, fine. But if you're something daily, 4 ounces, okay. Number 6, man, if you're smoking, quit. But especially what we're seeing is in America, maybe you've read America, we're seeing more younger generation getting problems with COVID. And what they're theorizing, research isn't out yet, we vape more in America than anywhere else in the entire world. And mostly young kids are doing it. This is a virus that acts like basically an allergic reaction to your lungs, and it's like a nuclear bomb. Your immune system just goes nuclear on this thing, and it tackles it, and it overruns the body. Very generalistic here I'm talking, but basically kids who vape are at a much higher risk of getting problems with this. And so quit smoking if you haven't already. This is a perfect opportunity. 21 days of quitting something is enough to create a habit. Let's do it. If you're vaping, stop it. I know that's easier said than done. Symptoms of chronic, number 7, keep chronic symptoms under control. So if you do have things like asthma, if you do have things like diabetes, if you do have things like blood sugar problems, if these things are getting out of control, according to the National Institutes of Health, you're going to create a chronic state where you can have a low-grade inflammatory process that weakens your body's defense system. That's what these chronic degenerative changes do. They create this chronic stress that creates this low-grade inflammation in the body, and then your body's only supposed to get inflamed when it's fighting an acute response. It's not supposed to be chronically inflamed. And if it's chronically inflamed, it can't respond fast enough when something happens. And then you get pneumonia, or you get respiratory problems, or you get other more acute things, whereas if you were in better shape before, you wouldn't. So keep those under control, guys. If you got a high A1C, this is the time to get it under control, for sure. If you're taking medications, of course, we need to stay up on them. If you're trying to manage your diet, especially with type 2, manage your diet. I would say there's never been a better time, again, to get healthy. I am doing what I'm doing here, and I'm trying to develop my abilities better. So I appreciate you guys helping me with that. But we're putting together a couple of virtual workshops. If you are working at home and I know your team members are maybe stressed, I'm putting together and I'm completing them a couple, I think, pretty cool virtual workshops of how that I think will go over very well in the virtual world. We're going to Zoom meeting. So if you're interested in any of that for your team members, it can be anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to a full 30-minute kind of stress on our workshop on health. I'm going to end just really quick. I know this one was a long one. I will, like I've said before, this is the opportunity to turn this into a pot. I'm sick of all the negativity out here, so you're not going to get that from me. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we can educate, how we can properly inform our people on how to properly take care of themselves in a positive way. We're going to be doing a workshop on a 21-day detoxification. That's going to be by invitation only because it's going to be a good hour and a half. You're going to need to learn how to do it. It is a product, it's a system that we do, and we monitor it. If you're interested, go ahead and tag me or go ahead and comment below, and I'll give you an invite to a Zoom meeting or whatever platform we use. Okay, but it's 21 days to detoxification. There's never been a better time because you're not going out to eat as much. You got control of your diet. It's because it does force you to eat a more restricted diet and a very plant-based, healthy diet while taking some supplements to help your body function better. So, hey, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know I went a little long there, but I love you guys. And please comment below, share this if you can, and let me know if you watched it and give me any comments. So have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you Friday. Friday's fun day. So I'm going to bring up something, and it'll just be fun.